Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caden Kubler, and welcome to Caden's Corner. We've got so much football to talk about, and boy, am I excited to break this massive weekend down for you guys. I hope you guys had a tremendous week. I hope you guys are wrapping up this week and are ready to watch some football this weekend. I've got so much coverage starting in the NFL. We saw a great Thursday night football game last night. It went a lot closer than a lot of people thought it was going to. We'll break that down. We'll move into our college football slate tomorrow, and then we'll move into the NFL slate on Sunday. We've got so much football to talk about. It is moving fast. It's hard to believe we're already on to week 4 in college football and week 3 in the NFL. So let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy every single weekend of this, because when it goes by and when it's gone, it is a grueling off season. Let's start last night. The Buffalo Bills took care of business to move to 3-0 against the Miami Dolphins. They looked really good. Josh Allen, he just continues to impress me each and every single game. And I was thinking about this last night after just watching him, how in control he looked going up against this Dolphins defense. And yes, the Dolphins defense isn't great, but when I watch Josh Allen out there, it seems like he's playing at a different speed than everyone else. He's playing a different game than everyone else. He is truly that excellent of a quarterback, and it is so fun to watch this guy play. He's continued to get better every single year. And like a lot of quarterbacks do, the great ones, they get better every single year. But for Josh Allen, the strides that he takes every single season, it is truly unbelievable. Obviously, he won the MVP last year. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, Josh Allen, he wins the MVP last year. 2 years ago, it was, okay, he throws 18 interceptions. The biggest flaw in his game is that he's reckless with the football. He's going to turn it over in the big moments. He loses Gabe Davis. He loses Stephon Diggs, his top 2 receivers. And then he comes into last season with a really downgraded receiving core. A lot of people wondering, how would Josh Allen perform with his 2 top weapons not there? Sure enough, he put the entire team on his back. He cut his turnovers down from 18 to 6. He wins the MVP, gets Buffalo all the way to the AFC Championship, where they nearly beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. Obviously, that's been the one fault in his entire career. So I look at that, I'm like, okay, that's a crazy leap from 2 years ago to last year. Obviously winning the MVP, he had such a great season. He was the only person carrying this Buffalo team to any sort of success. James Cook was good too. I don't want to forget him, but Josh Allen was the reason this team was so sensational. Then he comes into this season and he's increased his passing completion percentage from 63 to 70. He's just continued to get better and better every single year. And when I watch Josh Allen play football, I think he's probably playing the position better than anyone else right now. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, and a lot of things go into that. First of all, it starts with his Super Bowls, his MVPs, the regular season success is part of it, and the statistics and all of that. But I don't know if anyone's playing the position better than Josh Allen right now. And yes, we're 3 weeks in. We got a long ways to go, a long season to go. Josh Allen is the favorite to win the award right now. Lamar Jackson's kind of close to him, right behind him. But I almost think if that game's later in the season, that's Josh Allen's MVP moment. So I think because it happened in week 1, I think you're going to have other quarterbacks that may catch up a little bit. But I think Josh Allen is playing on another level right now. He is that good. And I think this Buffalo team is going to have no problem getting a really high seed in the AFC. I thought they were going to win 14 games coming into this year. I had them getting the number 2 seed. I had the Chiefs actually getting the 1 seed. So the Chiefs have obviously kind of stuttered a little bit here with the injuries and the suspension to Rashee Rice. So I would say right now, Buffalo is probably going to get that number 1 seed. And that's huge in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the AFC. Obviously, it's been the Chiefs have been the thorn in the Buffalo Bills side, and in specific, Josh Allen's side. I'm thinking right now, like if Josh Allen has a Super Bowl, and considering how good he's been playing, where do we put him all time? Realistically, him and Lamar Jackson are 2 of the greatest regular season quarterbacks that we've seen. They are so good. Lamar Jackson is putting up historic numbers in the regular season. Josh Allen has been an absolute tank in the regular season. Those guys have been on another level, but at the end of the day, they haven't been able to eat it all because of the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes. So I'm like wondering, with Lamar Jackson having 2 MVPs and what he's done in the regular season, I feel like, honestly, he can be one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history if he wins the Super Bowl. And the same thing goes for Josh. Josh is probably going to win the MVP this year. He's going to continue to play for another 10 years, add up all these stats, win a few more MVPs. If he wins the Super Bowl, I think we're talking about Josh Allen as a top 10 quarterback of all time. I mean, the dude can do everything on the football field. I look at Josh Allen's game and think the dude doesn't have any flaws in his game. He's big, he's mobile, he can make any throw on the field, he can laser 80-yard passes, he can do whatever you need him to do. That is the greatness of Josh Allen. So I'm really curious to see what this Buffalo team can do when it comes down to the postseason. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking at Buffalo and we're all looking at Baltimore saying, yes, this team is going to be really good in the regular season. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, they're going to be unbelievable in the regular season. They're going to be the MVP candidates. They're going to dominate. But at the end of the day, what can this team do in the postseason? That's my biggest question that I'm having with this team. And I think considering the fact that Kansas City has been the one factor that's exterminated all of these other teams, Buffalo and Baltimore have got to feel really good about their chances right now. And the first step to doing so, and the first step to ultimately getting over that hump, if you're Josh Allen or if you're Lamar Jackson, it's to get that number one seed in the AFC. And Buffalo has looked so awesome. Josh Allen, it really feels like he's playing another game out there. And this Buffalo team, they are going to be really, really good all season long. And I expect them to get the number one seed in the AFC right now. Now for Miami, the other team in this equation from Thursday Night Football, they were a lot more competitive than a lot of people had thought in this entire equation. I think for Miami, it's time now where you're going to have to make some really tough decisions, and they should have made these decisions a while ago, in my opinion. And the first one, it starts with Tua Tagovailoa. This is an uncomfortable conversation we have to have, but it's the reality of the situation when you look at Tua. And I always talk about it in the Caden Kubler quarterback philosophy, but I talk about where these guys are getting paid $50 to $60 million a year, and you have a range of quarterbacks that you can win because of. It's the Josh Allens. You lose all your weapons, you still win because of him. It's the Patrick Mahomes. You lose all your weapons and you win because of him. I would say that Justin Herbert is in that category, even though he hasn't necessarily had the postseason success. I would still put Herbert in that category. I would put Lamar in that category. I think there are a handful of quarterbacks that you can put in that conversation as the best quarterbacks that you can win because of. Now you have your tier B, maybe like your Dak Prescotts, maybe your Jordan Loves, I would say Jordan Love. I would say those types of quarterbacks that you can win and that they are going to really contribute to winning, and they're on the borderline that you can win because of. But then you get to this tier C level where you have a guy like Tua Tagovailoa, you have a guy like Trevor Lawrence, a guy like Kyler Murray, guys that are above average, but you're in a weird position where you drafted them high, you feel obligated to pay them. And that's why on the Caden Kubler quarterback philosophy, you can't pay Tua Tagovailoa $50 million a year. And Buffalo did it. And I said this at the beginning. I didn't feel like they should have paid Tua. And it's really unfortunate that Mike McDaniel is going to be the biggest scapegoat in this entire situation, because I genuinely believe that he is a good coach. And I went back and I looked at every single year for Miami when Mike McDaniel has been the head coach. And in 2 out of the last 3 years, not including this season, the Miami Dolphins have made the postseason. Now, 3 years ago, they made the playoffs at 9-8. Tua Tagovailoa was hurt for the playoffs, so it was Skylar Thompson as the quarterback. They ultimately lose to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in the first round. Then, 2 years ago, you have the Miami Dolphins that win 11 games, one of the best offenses in football. Then, they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs on the road, but you still won 11 games and you still looked really good. Last year, they go 8-9. Tua obviously gets hurt. They don't have their 2 best defensive players in Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. So that is really, really tough when you look at the Miami Dolphins last year trying to build from that momentum of winning 11 games. So you're going backwards last year. And now this year, they're 0-3. Tua has looked really, really poor, if I'm being completely honest. He just really has not looked good. 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He has the 3rd worst QBR in all of football right now. And this is a guy that's being paid $50+ million per year. I don't know how you expect the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel to realistically succeed with Tua. I genuinely believe in my heart that Mike McDaniel is a great head coach. Brian Flores had said that Tua was not a good quarterback, so he gets fired. He's revitalized his career in Minnesota right now, and he'll be a head coach again. He's the DC right now for Minnesota. He's been awesome, but I look at Mike McDaniel and I look at what he's done to turn around this Dolphins team, to give Tua Tagovailoa life, to resurrect his career, and for Tua to have an explosive offense while he's the captain of the ship. But realistically, it's Mike McDaniel that turned all of this around. And so when Tua's not playing good, the entire team's not doing good. So I don't think we can pin this on Mike McDaniel, but at the end of the day, he's on year 4, no playoff wins. When you get to year 3 and when you get to year 4 and you don't have playoff success, you don't have any division titles, your seat starts to get really hot. And I think we're ultimately headed to where everyone expects for us to be, and that's for Mike McDaniel to ultimately get fired by the Miami Dolphins. I think it's a shame because I do feel that he is a good coach, but at the end of the day, you can't pay Tua Tagovailoa $50+ million a year and expect to win football games. It's just the reality of the situation. Now, what does Miami do next? They're in a tough situation. I think it's clear that Mike McDaniel, the head coach, is going to get fired. Chris Grier, the general manager, is going to get fired. Now, what do? Because you still are paying Tua a ton of money. I think they're going to have to try and cut Tua, do the same thing that the Broncos did with Russell Wilson, where you cut Russell Wilson, you cut Tua Tagovailoa, take that huge cap hit, and you go after a rookie quarterback in the draft this year. This is one of the most stacked rookie quarterback classes that I can remember in a long time. You're going to have a ton of guys that you can get in the top 10. You can get in the top 16. I think that the Dolphins should go try and get a quarterback, in my opinion. That's what I believe they're going to try and do. And ultimately, I think they're going to try and trade Tyreek Hill as well. You've got to go young. You've got to save money. And when you're taking that huge cap hit with Tua, you've got to be able to cut Tua Tagovailoa, and you've got to be able to trade Tyreek Hill. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. I think Miami should try and hit a rebuild process. Keep Jalen Waddle. He's still young. Devon Achane, very young. He's not on a huge contract yet. I think they have some pieces that can work for this team, but ultimately, if Tua is the quarterback for the Dolphins, they're not going to be a team that you can win because of. I don't even know if I would put him in the top half 16 quarterbacks in football. And at the end of the day, he's being paid $50+ million a year. And when I look at the Caden Kubler quarterback philosophy, I look at Trevor Lawrence. Where are we with Trevor Lawrence? I think we're kind of all out on Tua right now, but with Trevor Lawrence, let's not forget he was the number 1 overall pick. He was taken. This is now year number 5 for Trevor. Now hasn't had the same type of offense around him, the same type of structure that Tua has had. Tua's had a tremendous structure around him with Mike McDaniel, great weapons around him, great running game, really everything that you could ask for. The offensive line maybe was a little shaky for a few years, but for Trevor Lawrence, I mean, Urban Meyer, when he was a rookie, didn't have tremendous weapons until they go out and get Brian Thomas Jr., and he's kind of taken a step back so far this year. Travis Hunter, we'll see if he can take a big step, but this is by far the best opportunity that Trevor Lawrence has had to succeed at the quarterback position. So I think a lot of eyes are on him as well. So we'll see what a guy like Trevor Lawrence can do. Kyler Murray, he's never won a playoff game. Those are all guys that I look at that are being paid top dollar in the NFL that aren't actually living up to the money that they're making. So the teams that are paying them are facing the repercussions. And that's ultimately why Miami's going to have to make a really tough decision here. I think that the Broncos did a great thing to lay the blueprint and lay the foundation for how other teams can get out of this cap purgatory when you pay somebody this much money. They've got to ultimately bite the bullet on this cap hit. That's what they're going to do. Go for a rookie quarterback. You've still got weapons. Let's see what the Miami Dolphins can do because they've got some really, really tough decisions to make. All right, let's hop into week 3. We've got a ton of great games in week 3. The game that I am the most excited for by far is a rematch of the divisional round last year between the Los Angeles Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. If you guys are familiar with my show at all, if you guys have been listening to Caden Kubler Sports Radio, if you guys are watching me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, I am all in on this Los Angeles Rams team, and I've been saying it all offseason. I've been saying it since they lost to the Eagles back in January. I love this Rams team, and I feel like they are capable of going on a Super Bowl run. Now, after watching them in the first 2 weeks, I feel like they are capable of winning the Super Bowl. I am all in on this Rams team, and I've been blown away by what I've seen. Now, we've got a huge matchup to see where they stack up. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles are the reigning defending champs. Obviously, they were a buzzsaw in the postseason last year. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Rams can answer the call. They played them 2 times last year, and Saquon Barkley absolutely dominated this Rams front 7. The Rams front 7 has the biggest question mark around it when I look at this team as a whole, because if you can stop the run game, if you can stop Saquon Barkley from hitting these home run touchdowns, you're going to be able to win this football game. And obviously the Philadelphia Eagles are the standard right now. If you beat Philadelphia, you can go get ahead of them and you can go win the Super Bowl right now. That's how I feel about the Rams. I think the Rams can win the Super Bowl. I think the Rams can win the NFC, but obviously it starts by going through Philadelphia. So huge opportunity for the Rams. Here's some of the things that I'm looking for. First of all, what is this Rams front seven going to look like when it's all said and done? What is this Rams front seven going to bring to the table when you've got to stop Saquon Barkley right now? Now, Philadelphia obviously can come at you in a multitude of ways, but the biggest problem that the Rams have struggled with was allowing Saquon Barkley to get loose, break these big runs. Now, the Rams aren't going to have a problem scoring the football. Obviously, this Rams offense has been unbelievable. Matthew Stafford at his old age is still playing an excellent level of football. But I look at the addition of Davante Adams to now pair it with Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is tied for the most receptions in football through 2 weeks. He also has the 4th most receiving yards in football. He's really taken this step to become not only a top 10 receiver in the league, but I will be willing to say that he's a top 5 receiver in football. And I could see him be a top 3 receiver when it's all said and done, when this year's over with. Puka Nacua is that good. Now you're adding Davante Adams into the mix, who just had his best game as a Ram, over 100 yards. He caught a touchdown. They are getting better and better, and their connection is only going to get more cohesive as the season progresses. Matthew Stafford is doing his thing, and it doesn't seem like the back is much of an issue right now. That was a huge storyline, obviously, coming into this year, was Matthew Stafford at his older age having to worry about the back issues. I think if he can stay healthy, this Rams offense is going to continue to be really, really good. And obviously Kyron Williams, they extended him this offseason. He is an unbelievable running back, but it's defensively, what can this team do to be a staunchy unit, to stop the Philadelphia Eagles? They've looked unbelievable so far this season. They're giving up the fewest points per game in the NFL, the 4th fewest yards per game, the 4th fewest passing yards per game, and that's the secondary. But the front seven, the rushing yards per game, it's still a question mark. If this Rams team can give me an answer, they can win the Super Bowl. Absolutely. Jared Verse is on the cusp of being a defensive player of the year type guy. He already is a candidate this year. He won the defensive rookie of the year last year. Braden Fisk was the runner-up actually for the defensive rookie of the year. So this Rams team, they're young, they're youthful, and they are ready to go defensively. But obviously it doesn't matter unless you can stop the Philadelphia Eagles, because that's the standard in the NFL. The Rams, they're going to have success against everybody else. They're going to make the playoffs. They are a really, really good football team, and everybody understands that. But everybody's talking about Philadelphia. Everybody's talking about Green Bay. Everybody's now talking about Tampa Bay, and I think Tampa Bay is really good. And once they get fully healthy, they're going to be a really, really good team in the NFC. But the Rams haven't gotten enough credit for how truly good they are right now, in my opinion. But this is a huge test in week 3 to see where the Los Angeles Rams are. And if they can answer the test, if they can get an A+, this Rams team can win the Super Bowl. I cannot wait for this matchup. This is probably the best game we're going to get here in week 3. Rams going on the road in Philadelphia. That is going to be must-see TV. Let's hop into my official predictions for week 3. We've obviously got a massive slate. We'll start in the 10 a.m. window. I'll run through every single game, break each one of them down. We'll go through the spread, who I've got winning. We'll give it all to you guys right now. We're going to have a massive, massive weekend and a great weekend of football. All right, let's start in the 10 a.m. window. We've got an NFC South rivalry in week 3. We've got the Atlanta Falcons going on the road against the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta gets on the board. They win their first game of the season on Sunday Night Football. Michael Penix Jr. did his thing against the Minnesota Vikings. This team weathered the storm early. They turned the football over. They kept battling. This Falcons team showed a lot of adversity against a really, really good Minnesota defense. I really like what I saw from Michael Penix Jr. and this Falcons team. I think everybody's so quick to forget that, like, yeah, this is J.J. McCarthy's first season starting. Yeah, Caleb Williams is on to year 2. Michael Penix Jr. played 3 games last season. We've only seen him play 5 total games in the NFL. Michael Penix Jr. is still such a young quarterback and is still so early on to his NFL career. Now, I know he's older for a rookie quarterback, but I'm saying in terms of his NFL career, he really hasn't played much. So I still think there's so much more room for him to grow. He really torched the Panthers last year when they played. So I think he's going to have another big game. I'd like Atlanta to get this one done. I really think the Carolina Panthers are dead at this point. I don't know how they do anything the rest of the season. Almost where the Miami Dolphins are at with Tua Tagovailoa, I feel that I'm there right now with Bryce Young. And it's just really tough because you obviously gave up so much to go get him in the draft. You gave up your first round pick that turned into the number 1 overall pick that was Caleb Williams. You gave up DJ Moore. You just gave up so much ultimately to try and win now with Bryce Young. And that's not what's happening. Bryce Young, it's been a disaster. I'm kind of off the ship right now, and I don't think that Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers are going to turn it around. I think very gloomy things are headed for this team. I like Atlanta to get this one done. All right, Green Bay going on the road against the Cleveland Browns. They are a 7.5-point favorite. Cleveland's dead as well. I like the Packers to get this one done. I think they are just a team that we will see in the postseason. Good to get a kind of a gimme here with Jaden Reed going through that collarbone surgery. We'll see when he comes back. This should be a really, really easy one for Green Bay. I'm curious to see how many snaps we're going to get out of Micah Parsons ultimately, but Green Bay will get this one done. They move to 3-0. A good survivor pick I want to mention too, if you guys are doing any survivor pools. I know I am. I like Green Bay to get this one done against Cleveland. All right, we've got an AFC South matchup, big time matchup here. Colts, the 2-0 Colts, the red hot Colts. Who would have expected that 2 weeks in? The Colts are going on the road against the Tennessee Titans, 0-2 Titans with the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward. Cam Ward has been good so far. I've really, really liked what I've seen from Cam Ward, and he's going to get an opportunity now to win his first game of the season. I like the Tennessee Titans to pull off a little upset here. Now, Indianapolis has looked good. They've been playing some good football. I'll give it to them. I'll give them a little round of applause. But I remember last year when the New Orleans Saints were 2-0, they were hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, who went on to win the Super Bowl. They were 2-0. They were a 2.5-point favorite against Philadelphia in week 3. So it's easy to get wrapped up when a team has 2 wins and 0 losses, when a team is undefeated early on. They've looked good. They beat down on Miami, but how good is Miami? And they did get a gritty win against Denver. I will give them that. But 2 games, let's not overreact too much. Daniel Jones has been playing some good football, but in these divisional games, things get dirty, things get grimy. Cam Ward has been playing some really, really solid football. I like the Tennessee Titans to pull off a nice little upset here. Cam Ward wins his first game in the NFL. Give me the Tennessee Titans here. All right, we've got a battle of the backup quarterbacks. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals going on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, a lot of news in this game. Like I mentioned, the battle of the backup quarterbacks. Joe Burrow has a turf toe injury that he's going to get surgery on that's going to keep him out for 3 months. Just a devastating injury. I talked a lot about this on Monday, where I'm at with the whole Joe Burrow situation in Cincinnati. It's really such a bummer that this offensive line has never been able to protect him, that he's never been in a situation where he actually has had a good offensive line. And it really stinks because Joe Burrow's been the only quarterback that we've actually seen to beat Patrick Mahomes when it matters the most. No other quarterback's been able to do it. And I don't know if we're ever going to see it. Like, I really don't. He can't stay healthy because he's taking so many hits. The offensive line is atrocious. And I feel bad for Joe Burrow. Dude's probably going to be out until week 14 or week 15. We'll see if Jake Browning can keep them alive. But this is a really big game for Cincinnati. They're 2-0, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like, dang, why couldn't Burrow have stayed healthy? They never start fast. These dudes are 2-0 right now. The defense doesn't actually look that bad. Once the offense starts clicking, Cincinnati is going to be a really good football team, and now we won't even know. Joe Burrow out 3 months. Jake Browning, Can you get this team to 6 wins, 7 losses, and the final 4 games of the season, they're winnable? Can Joe Burrow come back for week 15, week 14 and win some football games and try and get this Bengals team into the postseason? We will see. Really, really tough situation overall for Cincinnati. On the other hand, for Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy's out the next 1 or 2 weeks with an ankle injury. We've got Minnesota now starting Carson Wentz, who they traded for. They traded Sam Howell to go get him. This is a big move for Minnesota to be starting Wentz. I think Minnesota's going to win this football game. They're a 2.5 point favorite, kind of a lower spread. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks come into this system with Minnesota and have success. We've seen Jaron Hall do it when Kirk Cousins went down. Obviously, Kirk Cousins had a lot of success, but Jaron Hall came in at like 400 passing yards. We saw, obviously, Sam Darnold, when he was viewed as a bridge quarterback, he came in and he absolutely lit it up. So I think this Vikings team can actually have some success with Carson Wentz. I do believe in him, and I do believe that this Vikings team can win while McCarthy is rehabbing and recovering from this injury. So I like Minnesota to get this one done here. Let's move on. We've got a little AFC matchup here. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers going on the road against the New England Patriots. We've got Pittsburgh as a 1.5 favorite. A disappointing loss for Pittsburgh last week. It was so funny. I saw these clips where Caleb Johnson, the kick returner for the Steelers, was at the goal line. There's obviously this new kickoff system where you've got to get it inside of the box, where it's like the 10 and 20 yard line, and you've got to kick it in there. And Caleb Johnson was all the way back on the goal line, and the ball went through his hands. So he just thought it was going to go out of the back of the end zone and didn't go get it, but it was a live football and it was just sitting behind him in the end zone. Seattle runs all the way down the field. They jump on it and it's a touchdown. So a very critical mistake that Pittsburgh made last week that ultimately cost them this game when you look at it. And Aaron Rodgers also, there was this one throw that he had a beautiful ball in the back corner of the end zone, and it gets tipped. Freiermuth can't catch it. It gets intercepted in the end zone, and Pittsburgh loses the game. So some really tough kind of shoot yourself in the foot mistakes that ultimately cost Pittsburgh that game. Now they're 1-1. They should be 2-0. I expect this game to be a dirty, low-scoring affair. If there's one thing we know about Pittsburgh, they thrive in these dirty, low-scoring affairs. That's what this team has thrived on over the last few years. I like Pittsburgh to ultimately win this game. They're a 1.5 favorite. New England, they got their first win of the season last weekend against the Miami Dolphins, but it's like, okay, you're playing the Miami Dolphins. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how Drake May can continue to play. He had his best game. A lot of people are saying against the Dolphins last weekend, the best game of his career. I'm really excited about Drake May. I think he is one of the more talented young quarterbacks in the league, and he's going to continue to take strides. He's also a guy that didn't play all of last season. So excited to see how he continues to progress. I like Pittsburgh to pull this one out here. Rams, Eagles. Obviously, I'm taking the Rams. They are a 3.5 point dog. I do like Los Angeles to be barking this weekend and pull off the upset. All right, we've got a few more games in this 10 a.m. slot. We've got New York going on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No Justin Fields this weekend, so that means it's Tyrod Taylor. I was really, really hoping I was going to see some action from my boy Adrian Martinez. He was cooking in the preseason. New York, if they're in a bad spot, you got to put in 2 a.m. because 2 a.m. he'll do some nice things for New York. If New York starts Adrian Martinez, they will win this football game. But ultimately, they're not doing it. So give me Tampa Bay. They're a 6.5 point favorite. They've been really doing a great job of weathering this storm. All I can do for Tampa Bay right now is compliment them. What a heck of a job they've been doing to weather this storm with all the injuries they've had. Obviously, Chris Godwin is going to miss a few more games because he had that season-ending really bad ankle injury, broke his ankle last year. So we'll see him back around like week 6. We haven't seen Tristan Wirfs yet, one of the premier elite tackles in this league. Luke Gedeke gets hurt last week, and you have 2 of the best edge rushers in the sport, and Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter just teeing off on Baker all day long. And I felt that this Buccaneers O-line actually did a pretty good job of holding up. I think this Buccaneers team is so talented offensively, and once they can put all of these infinity stones into the gauntlet, I think they're going to have the best offense in football. I actually predicted them to win 13 games coming into this year. The NFC South is a joke. Tampa Bay is going to be just fine. I like them to win this one here. This is kind of an interesting game. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders going on the road against the Washington Commanders. No Jaden Daniels this week. We've got a lot of quarterbacks that are injured, which stinks considering we're 2 weeks into the season. We've got so many quarterbacks that are already injured. And this is a weird one for me. Washington with Mariota. I know Mariota has a lot of experience, but this is the Raiders aren't a bad football team. They went on the road and they beat New England in week 1. Now, I just think the Chargers are such a good team that it's tough to beat them, and their defense was suffocating, but the Raiders aren't a bad football team, and they're a 2.5-point underdog against a backup quarterback in the Washington Commanders. I think Las Vegas wins this football game. I really am high on the Raiders. I think they moved to 2-1. I think Geno Smith has a lot better game. He really struggled on Monday Night Football. That was just an atrocious game to watch. I was fighting to even stay awake for that game, and I'm here on the West Coast, and I was like, dude, this is just the same thing. Geno Smith is just making some terrible decisions, but I think he'll have a lot better game. And I like the Raiders to pull off a nice little upset here. All right, our final 10 a.m. game. Do or die for the Houston Texans. We've got the Houston Texans going on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars in a nice little AFC South battle. This is literally a do or die game for Houston. No sugarcoating it. They've got to win. They're 0-2 right now. I want to say that you have a 4% chance of making the playoffs once you go 0-3. The chances get slim. They get really slim. I think Houston is a really good football team, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed with what I've seen so far. The defense is unbelievable. They're going to always be unbelievable. This is such a scary unit. Top 5 defense in football, but the offense, it's been so lackluster. Now, it's going to get better because they're going to get some of the receivers back. They'll get Tank Dell probably later in the season. They're going to get Christian Kirk back soon, who is their number 2 receiver. The offensive line just hasn't been great. And that's one of the reasons why I think CJ Stroud has been struggling. It feels like he just doesn't trust his eyes. It feels like the ball's not coming out on time. It feels like he's not making the right decisions. He's inaccurate. He's not the same guy we saw his rookie year. And I don't think that's his fault. And I know we're only 2 games in, and I'm so high on CJ Stroud. Like I was saying last year that he was a top 5 quarterback in football. And this could be the same thing that happens where it's like the Texans, they're 0-2. They battle, they win this division. Maybe they win the division at 10-7. Maybe they win the division at 9-8, or maybe they barely sneak into the playoffs. But if they can win a playoff game like Stroud has done in each of the last 2 years, we've got to say CJ Stroud is one of the best. He's one of the best in football because he wins. He wins and he steps up in the big moments. So if there's one thing that I can say about Stroud and the Houston Texans, CJ Stroud will absolutely step up in the big moments. I like Houston to get this one done, keep the season alive. Let's move to the 1 o'clock slate here. All right. Parched 30 minutes in, parched 32 minutes in. Shout out Costco sparkling water. All right. Broncos going on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers. Big one in the AFC West. Everybody's licking their chops right now in the AFC West because you see the Kansas City Chiefs at 0-2. You are feeling good if you're the Broncos, if you're the Chargers, specifically if you're the Chargers, because you're like, we've got a shot right now. This is the best shot we've had. This is the best Justin Herbert's playing. This is the best Chargers team we've seen in a long time. And to put the cherry on top, the Kansas City Chiefs are struggling. This isn't the Chiefs team that we've seen that's won 15 games last year. The Chargers are like, oh my goodness, they're 0-2 right now. We're 2-0. We can really take the life out of them and we can keep going. So big game for the Chargers. They're at home, 2.5-point favorite. I like them to get this one done. I think Denver is in a little bit of a slump right now. They haven't looked amazing. The defense has been the biggest surprise of the entire year. Coming into this season, they added a ton of great pieces. Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw. And I just felt like this was going to be the best defense in football. I really felt like with the pieces they were returning and the additions that they made this offseason, this Denver defense was going to be really good. And they haven't been good. They have not been really good so far this year. Now, if there's a week for them to step up and be this number 1 team defense in the league, it's got to be this week. It's got to be against the Los Angeles Chargers, because the Chargers, if they win this game, They're not only 3-0. The Chiefs are not only 0-2. The Broncos won't only be 1-2, but the Chargers will be 3-0 in the AFC West, and they will be on their way to putting a bow tie on this division 3 weeks into the season. This is a massive game for the AFC West, massive game for the AFC in general, and I think that the Los Angeles Chargers have an MVP candidate at quarterback this year who can absolutely win it. I know I started the show by saying Josh Allen is on another level right now. I think Justin Herbert's playing the best football of his entire career right now. It just stinks this offensive line lost Rashawn Slater because they look so good even without him. They look freaking scary without Rashawn Slater. I can't imagine if they had one of the top tackles in football next to Joe Alt. I mean, they are giving Justin Herbert all the time in the world to do whatever he wants. Quentin Johnston all of a sudden has rekindled this first-round talent out of nowhere. Ladd McConkey is unbelievable, over 1,000 yards in his rookie year, and you added Keenan Allen back. This is a really good skill group all of a sudden. Now, you want to see them be able to run the ball a little bit better because that was the bread and butter of this team last year, one of the reasons they won 11 football games. If they can get back to running the football like they did last year, this Chargers team could beat anyone in the NFL, and I think they are knocking on the door at legitimately being one of the best teams in the AFC, putting themselves in that category with the Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs, because that's kind of been the tier A category in the AFC over the last few years. The Chargers are knocking on the door. This is a monumental game for the AFC West. I cannot wait to watch it. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers to win this one here, move to 3-0 in the season, 3-0 in the AFC West, and put themselves in a prime position to go on a deep playoff run. Jim Harbaugh, you've done it. You have done it. All right. I won't spend too much time on this game. The only breakdown I'll give you guys is this will be a good survivor pick. We've got the Saints going on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks, 7.5-point favorite. I don't know when you're going to get a better opportunity to use Seattle. I think Seattle would be a great one here. I just feel like if you're doing a survivor pool, just fade the Saints every week. The Saints are not good. They are really not a good football team. I think Seattle actually is a good football team, and they're going to make the NFC West a really, really fun division. I like Seattle to win this one here. All right, let's go Bears, Cowboys. It seems like everybody's given up on Chicago. Everyone's given up on Caleb Williams. Everyone's given up on Ben Johnson, which is just so our society. I said it on Monday. We see CJ Stroud, we see Jaden Daniels, we see Bo Nix all have great rookie seasons, and Caleb Williams doesn't have this glorious rookie season that we're all expecting because he got this generational hype. Everyone's like, oh, Caleb Williams, he's the savior. Oh, now they got Ben Johnson. Oh, they have DJ Moore, Roma Dunze. It's like it felt like everything was going to come together for Caleb Williams, and it hasn't. It's been disappointing so far, but I think at the same time, you've got to be optimistic. You have to hold optimism because you could also be in the situation where you're the Carolina Panthers and you took Bryce Young #1 overall and you're now on year 3 of the same fiasco. Or you could be Anthony Richardson right now and you could be on the bench when you're the 4th overall pick 3 years ago. So, we've got to look at the silver lining here on Caden's Corner / Caden Kubler Sports Radio. I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist, and I'm going to defend players because we in the media, people are too critical. So I'm going to defend Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is still going to be a talented player. I think he's still going to be a really, really good football player. I think we've got to give him some time to cook, some time to get fully acclimated to this Ben Johnson offense. Like, he's only in year 2. He's 2 weeks into year 2. If we're still having this conversation in 7 to 8 weeks, we could have a different conversation. Let's chill out a little bit on the Chicago Bears. Now, on the other side, Dallas picked up a big-time win last weekend, a nail-biter against the against the New York Giants, Brandon Aubrey. I mean, that dude is he's unbelievable. He's a weapon. You get over the 50-yard line, boom, 3 points. You get over the 55, boom, 3 points. Like, it doesn't matter where you are. You're on the opposing 45, boom, 3 points. Like, Brandon Aubrey, the dude can hit from anywhere. He is an unbelievable player. What a way to win the game for the Giants last year. Hits that bomb to send it to overtime, then hits a nice little game winner in overtime. I believe that this is going to be a good game, and everybody's all over the Cowboys. And we've even got people saying he's going to be benched by week 7. If Caleb Williams is benched by week 7, oh my goodness, that would be absolutely insane. People are going to be calling for Ben Johnson's job if Caleb Williams is benched by week 7. That would be insane. But I think Caleb Williams is going to win this first game of the season. I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to get the first one done for Ben Johnson here. I like them to shock some people. I know everyone's all over Dallas. Rome Odunze's really had a strong start to the year. Give me Chicago to get some momentum going here, to get their first win of the season. The defense is going to rekindle a little bit of that magic. Give me the Chicago Bears to win this one here. I'm believing in you, Caleb. I really am believing in you. I know you've got people saying that you're going to get benched by week 7. You're not going to get benched by week 7. Don't worry. All right. Final afternoon window here. NFC West. Cardinals going on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. Niners are a 2.5-point favorite here. Interesting line. I know Brock Purdy's questionable, but Mac Jones, he might be the guy. He might be the guy for San Fran while Brock's, getting healed up while he's in the incubator. Mac Jones can get you some wins. We all know that Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. That was reported during that draft cycle with Trey Lance when they traded up to go get him. Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. Mac Jones lit it up last week. What a fun little game for him. Big time win for the Niners. I said they were going to win 14 games. I said they were going to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. Another big game to go 2-0 in the NFC West. They beat Seattle week 1. This would be a really, really big win for the San Francisco 49ers. They could knock off Arizona here. They're a 2.5-point favorite, which surprises me a little bit, but I like the 49ers to get this one done here. I do. Regardless of who's starting at quarterback, Mac Jones is comfortable in the offense. Obviously, Brock Purdy can elevate that even more. He can really, really play some good football regardless of who's out there. We saw that in week 1 when Kittle got hurt, but McCaffrey's going to be obviously a vital part of this offense. Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, those guys are just going to get more and more acclimated and get more and more reps. And I just can't imagine once Kittle's back, Ayuk's back, this Niners team is going to be really, really fun to watch. All right, we've got 2 more solid games to break down for the end of the stream here. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs. Season on the line against the New York Football Giants. If you guys know Caden Kubler, if you guys know me, if you guys know Caden's Corner, I'm all in on the Chiefs. Chiefs is still the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. He's the best player on the planet. He's going to go down as the second best quarterback of all time. The Chiefs are still in their dynasty. There's no reason to panic. But if there's one thing you know about me, I'm gonna go down with the ship. If the ship is going down, I'm going down with the ship. And I'm on this ship right now with Travis Kelce, with Taylor Swift, with Patrick Mahomes, with Rashee Rice, you name it. I'm on the ship with all of them. And if they sink, it's gonna happen this week. If they sink. It'll happen this week, because if they don't lose this week, they're not sinking the rest of the year. So you better hope that your cannonball is gonna sink that ship, because if it doesn't, watch out, NFL. Watch out, Los Angeles Chargers. Watch out, Denver Broncos. Watch out, Philadelphia Eagles. You guys may feel good about yourselves. Nice, you beat the Chiefs without their top 2 weapons. That's good. You beat them by 1 score. If you're the Chargers, 6 points. Barely beat them. I hope you feel good. Philadelphia Eagles, Travis Kelce catches that touchdown, doesn't give it away for an interception. Different story. This team's 0-2 right now. Everybody's doing their victory lap. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's got a dad bod. He's not any good. It's his fault they're losing. Are we watching the same game here? Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world. He's the best football player on the planet. And he's not a guy that I would want to make upset. They get the win this weekend. They get back on track. They're 1-2. They've got a huge opportunity to keep this going. And if they can just survive till week 6, if they're 3-3 by week 6, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. And he's the best player on the planet. And this is like the Brady dynasty. When people said, oh, Brady's lost it. Brady can't do it no more. He's older. They don't have the weapons. The defense isn't good. Doesn't matter. There's one root cause to everything, and that is the two greatest quarterbacks in the history of the game. And that's Tom Brady and that's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will remind the world that he is the best player of this generation. And I went on a huge rant to start the show that Josh Allen is on another level, that Lamar Jackson is on another level, that Justin Herbert's an MVP candidate. I can give all those guys flowers during the regular season. But you know what happens when January comes? Do you know what happens when February comes? The Grim Reaper comes when it gets grim. And it's grim right now in Kansas City. And I would not want to be in the AFC right now if I was anybody else. So Josh Allen, Lamar, everybody enjoy this. Because number 15's coming. The big bad wolf is coming. The Chiefs get back on track. The cannonball misses. And I'm still alive on the ship. Chiefs get this one done on Sunday Night Football. I know I said I was going to give you guys 2 more games. I lied. I'm only giving you guys 1 more, and that was the Chiefs-Giants. Lions-Ravens is on Monday night, so you guys are going to have to come back Monday to watch that one. But I'll give you more than one in college football because we've got a tremendous college football slate, ladies and gentlemen. This is when it counts. Conference play is here. Now, I know there were some teams that were already playing some conference but it is officially conference play for everybody now. We've got some great ones. 17th ranked Texas Tech, going on the road against the 16th ranked Utah Utes out of the Big 12. We've got the 21st ranked Michigan Wolverines going on the road in Lincoln, Nebraska for a Big 10 matchup. We've got the 22nd ranked Auburn War Eagles going on the road against the Oklahoma Sooners, 11th ranked in the country. We've got a great SEC matchup, and then we've got the 9th ranked Illinois Fighting Illini going on the road against the 19th ranked Indiana Hoosiers for a great Big 10 matchup. We've got Florida, Miami. We've got the Battle of Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the best of the best now in college football here with conference play starting this weekend. We've made it. The meaningful games start this weekend. Now let's break it all down. Let's break down some of the big games that we've got. We've got about 10, 15 more minutes left in the stream. Let's finish strong. Texas Tech, 17th ranked in the country, going on the road in Utah to face the Utah Utes with Devin Dampier, Kyle Whittingham, this tremendous Utah team. Utah, 3.5-point favorite. I cannot wait for this game. This is without a doubt the best game in the 9 a.m. slate. All eyes are going to be on this game. We've got Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt on the call. This is going to be electric. Devin Dampier has been one of the best quarterbacks in the country so far. He has been must-see TV. He's been awesome. They're going up against a high-flying, explosive offense in Texas Tech. We've got 2 tremendous football teams. I like Utah to get this one done. They've got an NFL offensive line up front for Dampier. They've got a tremendous dual threat quarterback in Devin Dampier, who's really playing some great football right now. This defense for Utah is stingy. They are tough. They fly around to the football. I think that Dampier, if he doesn't turn the football over, this Utah team is going to be too tough to beat. They're too physical. I like the Utah Utes to get a huge win and some huge momentum in Big 12 play, knocking off the 17th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. This is going to be a fun one, ladies and gentlemen. In the 12:30 slate, we've got some absolute bangers now. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are all the way back. They're all the way back in Lincoln, where they'll take on the 21st ranked Michigan Wolverines. I can't wait for this one. I've got a little bit of bias in me because I do love my Nebraska Cornhuskers, and everybody loves Michigan in this game. They're ranked. Oh, Bryce Underwood. We've got Dylan Raiola, I know everybody hates on him. I know everybody says, oh, he's Patrick Mahomes Jr. He's not. Dylan Raiola is efficient. He is accurate. He's a great decision maker. And guess what? He's only getting better as each game goes on. He's been playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the nation that nobody's talking about right now. This Nebraska offense is this Nebraska team, is only one of 3 teams in all of the country that is a top 5 scoring offense and a top 10 scoring defense. So watch out for these Nebraska Cornhuskers. My keys to the game are the offensive line, without a doubt. If Nebraska can stop this Michigan run game, and in specific, the legs of the quarterback and Bryce Underwood, who's the number 1 player in the class of 2025, an amazing dual threat quarterback. If they can stop his legs and they can stop the run game, I'm not worried about this passing game for Michigan. Nebraska needs to win this game if they want to have a hope and a chance at making the college football playoff. I like the Big Red to win a ranked game for the first time since 2016. I saw a stat before I went live on Twitter that says Nebraska is 0-27 in their last 27 games against ranked opponents. Now, I won't lie, that scares me. It scares me a little bit. It actually scares me a lot, I won't lie. But if there's one thing I know about Nebraska fans, is that they'll find a way to get themselves riled up and say, we're going to win this football game. And it's different. I know we're talking 27 straight ranked losses. We're talking 2016 with Mike Riley, with Scott Frost. No, this is Matt Rule. This is not just Matt Rule. This is year 3 Matt Rule. It's time. A new leaf will be turned over. Nebraska is inevitable. They win this game, move to 4-0. They get ranked. Dylan Raiola has a spectacular performance. And dare I say he throws his hat in the ring in the Heisman conversation. I believe that is what we can expect from the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now we've got a lot more big time games coming up. All right, we've got Auburn going on the road against Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold, absolutely love his celebrations. Side note, but Oklahoma. With John Mateer, this is a team right now that has got a ridiculous schedule. I mean, it's unfair. The SEC is ridiculous. So they've got to win these games now. And they're at home. They need to win this game. I don't want to, it may sound ignorant to say, but this is a must-win game for the Oklahoma Sooners if they want to make the college football playoff. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let's go through Oklahoma's final 7 games of the season. At home against Texas, 8th in the country. On the road against South Carolina, who is just a top 10 team in the nation. At home against 13th ranked Ole Miss. On the road against 15th ranked Tennessee. On the road against 14th ranked Alabama. At home against 23rd ranked Missouri. At home against LSU. That is 6 out of 7 ranked opponents in a 7-week schedule. And then you're not even counting South Carolina. This is a gauntlet. I mean, dude, they might play 9 ranked teams this year. That's got to be some sort of record. I mean, honestly, how are they expected to make the college football playoff like that? I mean, I feel for Oklahoma, but I feel like they have to win this game if they want to have a chance. And I don't know if that's ignorant to say that. And I'm looking right now. What are the most ranked opponents a team has played in college football? I'm sorry for the delay here. I need to look. Well, this is kind of an inconclusive answer. I didn't do a great job typing because I'm kind of on the fly here. All right, to be determined. I'll get back to you guys on Monday. Yeah, that's on me, folks. Okay. All right. I like Oklahoma to win this one, though. I do. I like Oklahoma to get this one done. They need to do it. I think this is going to be huge for Mateer's Heisman campaign. It's going to be huge for what he's trying to do ultimately, and I'm excited to see what this Oklahoma team can sustain before they've got to go into this grueling schedule that they have. All right, let's go to our last ranked matchup of the weekend. We've got number 9 Illinois going on the road against 19th ranked Indiana. Indiana's a 6.5 point favorite. What the heck? I think Illinois is a really, really good football team. This is honestly kind of surprising. Fernando Mendoza and the boys, Kurt Signetti, they're feeling themselves obviously in the college football playoff last year. I like Indiana to lose this game. I think Illinois is going to win. They're ninth in the country. I really love the way they beat Duke on the road a few weeks ago. I think they are a dang talented football team. Luke Altmaier is one of the best quarterbacks in the country that nobody talks about. Indiana, they also are a good team, but I think they lost a lot of pieces and they really didn't play anyone through the first 3 weeks. That's why I'm a little skeptical on them. I think playing Illinois for their first true test of the season is not going to be what they think. I think Illinois is already battle tested. I like what they've done so far. Give me Illinois to win this game, ladies and gentlemen, as a 6.5 point dog. I'm going to say this every time. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy this, ladies and gentlemen. Just with everything going on, let's enjoy the thing that brings us all together, and that is sports, and that is football. Football is the best in the world. You cannot beat it. We get an amazing slate tomorrow in college football. Sit back, kick your feet up, enjoy a great slate of games. And then on Sunday, we've got some tremendous games as well. We're already 4 weeks into the college football season. That is 33% of the regular season. So enjoy it. We're already on to week 3 in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys so much for making me a part of your day. You guys have a blessed weekend, and we will see you guys on Monday. From Caden Kubler and Caden's Corner. See you guys.